Imagine a life where anger no longer controls you, where you can respond to any challenge with a calm and steady mind, completely unshaken. Picture the power of staying collected and centered, even in the face of criticism, misunderstandings, or stressful situations. How freeing would that feel? Today, we're diving into 7 transformative Buddhist-inspired lessons that will help you master the art of controlling your anger instantly and finding lasting inner peace. As Buddha wisely taught, you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. Holding on to anger is like clutching onto a hot coal. It only burns you. Let's dive into these powerful lessons and discover how to finally let go of this burden together. Lesson 1. Recognize the source of your anger. Anger often arises when we feel hurt, threatened, or misunderstood. But in the heat of the moment, we seldom stop to question where this feeling is coming from. When anger strikes, it can feel overpowering. But the real strength lies in pausing and asking yourself, why am I truly angry? Take a few seconds to check in with yourself. Are you upset because of a personal boundary being crossed, a feeling of disrespect, or perhaps a deeper, unresolved issue? Many times our anger is rooted in past experiences or accumulated frustrations that have nothing to do with the current situation. By identifying the source, you bring clarity to your emotions. This step is powerful because it allows you to separate the current trigger from past pain. Once you've named the source, you're in a better position to respond with intention rather than react impulsively. This awareness, this mindful pause, can shift your entire perspective and reduce the intensity of your anger, bringing you closer to peace. 2. Breathe deeply to release tension. When we're angry, our body tightens, our muscles contract, and our breathing becomes shallow and quick. It's a physical manifestation of our mental state. Deep breathing, however, has the power to counteract these effects by signaling to the body that it's time to calm down. The practice of deep breathing is simple yet effective. Inhale deeply through your nose, let your belly expand, hold the breath for a moment, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. This might sound basic, but deep breathing is one of the most effective tools for controlling anger. When you breathe deeply, you bring more oxygen into your body and brain, which helps you think clearly and remain calm. Imagine each breath as washing away a layer of your anger, creating space for calm and balance. Practicing deep breathing not only soothes your physical symptoms, but also gives you something to focus on, creating a moment of pause and preventing a reaction you might later regret. Try 3 to 5 rounds of deep breathing, and you'll notice a remarkable difference in how grounded and centered you feel. 3. Mentally step outside the situation. In moments of anger, it's easy to become so absorbed in our feelings that we forget the bigger picture. But stepping outside yourself, even just in your mind, can be a powerful tool for control. Visualize yourself watching the situation as an outsider would, almost like viewing a scene in a movie. Imagine observing the interaction between you and the other person from a neutral perspective. This approach allows you to separate yourself from the heat of the moment and gain some clarity. When you're in an intense situation, ask yourself, how would I want this character, myself, to react? Think about how the most composed, wise version of yourself would respond. This exercise doesn't mean you're avoiding your emotions, but rather that you're reframing the experience to see it from a wider perspective. Stepping outside of the situation can help you recognize that what feels so intense in the moment might not have long-term importance. This shift in perspective helps reduce the grip that anger has on you, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. 4. Transform anger into compassion. A core teaching in Buddhism is to meet anger with compassion, especially when directed at another person. Anger often comes from hurt or misunderstanding, but people who lash out are often suffering themselves. When you feel anger rising, take a moment to reflect on what the other person might be going through. Ask yourself, what might they be experiencing that led them to behave this way? This simple question can shift your perspective and ignite compassion within you. Of course, this doesn't mean you're condoning poor behavior, but by choosing compassion, you reduce the emotional burden anger places on you. Imagine that person as someone who is also dealing with pain, stress, or challenges, just as you are. When you try to see them in this light, your anger transforms into understanding and your body relaxes. Compassion doesn't just benefit them, it frees you from anger's grip. So, in moments of conflict, try to view others with an open heart. This compassionate approach allows you to handle situations with more ease and maintain inner peace. 5. Channel your energy productively. Anger is a powerful emotion that brings with it a lot of energy. It's almost like having a fire inside that's burning strongly, urging you to take action. But if this energy is left uncontrolled or bottled up, it can end up hurting you and others around you. When you're angry, it's easy to feel like you want to explode, say things you don't mean, or act in ways you'll later regret. But the good news is that this energy can be redirected towards something positive and helpful for you. Think of anger as a fuel source that, when used wisely, can bring about change, growth, and improvement in your life. One of the most immediate and effective ways to channel anger is through physical activity. Physical activities, such as going for a brisk walk, hitting the gym, or even simply running in place, allow you to physically release the energy that has built up in your body. These activities help your mind calm down by focusing on the movement and exertion, giving you a way to release tension and frustration. Not only does exercise help you feel better physically, but it also releases endorphins, chemicals in your brain that make you feel happier and more relaxed. Cleaning up your space can have a similar effect. By putting your energy into tidying up, you're directing your mind to something productive and creating a cleaner, more organized environment. This activity can give you a sense of control and accomplishment, especially when everything feels chaotic. Writing down your thoughts is another powerful way to handle anger constructively. Journaling, for example, allows you to put all your feelings onto paper. You can be as honest and open as you want, without worrying about anyone else's reactions. Think of it as a safe space where you can express yourself fully. Sometimes, just seeing your thoughts written out can help you understand what's really making you angry, and can give you new insights into the situation. Plus, writing helps your mind slow down and process your emotions in a more controlled way. Some people also find that creative activities like painting, drawing, or playing music are great ways to redirect their anger. These outlets allow you to express what you're feeling in a way that's meaningful to you. When you're creating something, whether it's a drawing, a piece of music, or even a quick sketch, you're putting your feelings into a form that others might understand. This process can be incredibly satisfying and even healing, because it turns anger into something beautiful or constructive. Redirecting your energy like this gives anger a purpose. Rather than allowing it to cause harm, you're using it to benefit yourself. And afterward, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment and control, knowing you turned a potentially harmful emotion into something positive. The key here is to find an activity that feels natural for you, something you enjoy, and that provides relief without causing harm. By finding a healthy outlet, you'll be better prepared to handle anger the next time it arises. Lesson 6. Focus on what you can control. Let go of the rest. One of the biggest reasons we get caught up in anger is our desire to control everything: how people act, what they say, and how situations unfold. When things don't go our way, or when people do things that hurt or annoy us, we feel a surge of frustration, resentment, and helplessness. But there's a powerful truth that Buddhist teachings remind us of. We simply can't control everything. The actions of others, unforeseen setbacks, even the traffic on the road, these are all beyond our control. What we can control, however, is how we respond. Think of life as a river with a flow all its own. You don't control the river's direction, but you have complete power over how you navigate it. Fighting against the flow, insisting on changing what cannot be changed, only exhausts us, intensifying our feelings of anger and resentment. However, when we accept the river's flow, focusing on steering our own boat instead, we experience less resistance and a greater sense of peace. Accepting what we can't control, be it the behaviors of others or the uncontrollable aspects of life, actually frees us from unnecessary suffering. This shift in mindset allows you to redirect your energy to what matters most, managing your own mind. Practicing this is freeing, though it requires conscious effort. When faced with an irritating situation, ask yourself, what can I truly control here? Often the answer is simply your reaction. If someone's rude, rather than allowing anger to flare up, you can take a deep breath and remind yourself that while their behavior is out of your hands, your response isn't. Responding with calm or even choosing to walk away is a choice that strengthens you and leaves you feeling empowered, not controlled by anger. This principle doesn't mean passively accepting mistreatment. Instead, it encourages you to stay grounded and respond with intention, choosing actions that protect your peace. Each frustrating situation then becomes an opportunity to practice calmness and self-control. The more you focus on your own responses, the less external events have the power to disturb your peace. Over time, situations that once left you angry or upset won't hold the same power over you because you've developed the inner strength to remain unaffected. Letting go of control also greatly improves your relationships. When you release the need to change others, you create space for patience and compassion, reducing conflict and enhancing understanding. It's like lifting a weight off your shoulders. You no longer feel responsible for how others act, only for how you respond. This allows you to cultivate calm and focus on being the best version of yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Remember, letting go doesn't mean surrendering or giving up. It's about protecting your inner peace and recognizing that real power lies in self-control, not in controlling others. Each time you practice this, you build emotional resilience, proving to yourself that your stability isn't tied to anyone else's words or actions. Imagine the strength and calm you'd carry if you approached life with the knowledge that nothing outside you could shake your peace. By focusing on what you can control, you liberate yourself from unnecessary frustration and set yourself free to live with clarity, strength, and harmony. Lesson 7. Practice forgiveness and move on. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful actions you can take to release anger and reclaim your peace. Holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying a heavy weight that only burdens you. While we may feel justified in our anger, clinging to it keeps us stuck in the past and drains our energy. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about condoning someone's actions or forgetting what happened. Instead, it's a personal decision to let go of the hurt they caused you, to release the grip that anger has on your heart, and to prioritize your peace of mind over the desire for revenge or justice. Imagine that each moment of anger, resentment, or grudges you hold is like carrying a heavy rock in a backpack. Over time, the weight builds, making it harder for you to walk forward. When you choose to forgive, you're choosing to set down that weight and lighten your load. Forgiveness is not something you necessarily do for others. It's a gift you give yourself. It's a way of saying, I won't allow this person's actions to control my emotions or cloud my peace anymore. By forgiving, you take back the power that anger and hurt have over you and free yourself from the negativity tied to the past. Practicing forgiveness can also create a ripple effect in your life. By letting go of grudges, you invite more compassion, patience, and empathy into your relationships. When you're no longer burdened by past hurts, you become more open to new connections and less defensive in your interactions with others. You're able to approach people and situations with an open heart, which not only strengthens your relationships, but also brings a sense of harmony and joy. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to maintain relationships with those who have hurt you. Rather, it means you are no longer carrying bitterness about them in your mind. It's a way to protect yourself from the emotional poison that resentment creates. For those who struggle with forgiveness, it can be helpful to start with small acts of letting go. Practice forgiving minor grievances and gradually work up to larger ones. Each time you forgive, take a moment to recognize how it feels physically and emotionally. Notice if you feel lighter, more at ease, and more connected to the present moment. When you truly forgive, it's as though a weight has been lifted and you're no longer anchored to painful memories. It's important to understand that forgiveness is a process. Some days, you may feel as though you've let go, while other days, feelings of resentment may resurface. This is normal. Forgiveness is rarely a one-time event, but a practice that requires patience and persistence. Think of it like tending to a garden. Each time you forgive, you're pulling out a weed that could otherwise choke the positive growth in your life. Over time, your inner world becomes a space filled with peace and acceptance rather than anger and bitterness. When you choose forgiveness, you make a conscious decision to live in the present rather than letting past pain define your future. Anger and resentment only keep you tethered to old wounds, blocking your ability to experience joy, love, and fulfillment. By forgiving, you're setting yourself free, allowing yourself to move forward without the emotional baggage of past hurts. Imagine how empowering it is to know that you have the ability to choose peace, regardless of what others have done. This doesn't mean you're letting anyone off the hook. It simply means that you value your own well-being enough to release the things that no longer serve you. Forgiveness is an act of self-compassion. It's a commitment to your own healing and inner peace. When you let go of anger and resentment, you create room for new experiences, new relationships, and a renewed sense of self. You become someone who is not defined by the pain of the past, but by the strength and resilience of the present. So, when you feel anger rising, remind yourself of the power of forgiveness and choose to set yourself free from the burden of resentment. This choice is one of the most liberating and empowering things you can do for yourself, allowing you to move forward with clarity, strength, and peace. Anger is a natural human emotion, but it doesn't have to control us. By implementing these 7 powerful lessons, you can learn to face any situation with calm and strength. Imagine a life where peace is your default state, where anger no longer holds you captive. If this video has helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on inner peace and emotional mastery. Thank you for watching, and remember, peace is always within your reach, if you choose it.